Good afternoon, Facebook. Um, it's been a minute since I put anything on there because I've been traveling, trying to get away from certain people. The whole being targeted, especially for governmental experimentation and more, um, SEX racketing, um, profiting off of those videos that they did after drugging me. You know what I find really sad and sickening is these participants that have so much money think that they loved any of the women or men that they racketed. They think their version of love is love when most of those people like me, in fact, probably all of those people were drugged. You don't know the real me. You know nothing about me. You don't know who I am. You have a watered down, drugged, sedated version of an echo of some remembrance of who I am on an unconscious level. You don't have me. So what you love doesn't even exist. Do you not understand that? So there was, I think, $1 million hit on my head to not just sacrifice me for blood sacrifice or organ donation or torture or experimentation, but to take my life. You know, just, well, I guess it was for that. It was for all of those, right? And there are people above three of the people that partook in this. I want the people above because even though, you see, that's the hardest part about having a pyramid scheme. The one at the top is really the one at fault, but they think they're clean because they didn't get their hands dirty. They allowed, well, they paid for other people to create a committee to organize, to execute it, to do the operations, you know, and then to see the expansion once I moved from city to city, county to county, and state to state. So the thing is, all of the small people, you know, who were SCX offenders in the cities who were like, oh, we could do this to her? Yeah, like we're not going to get caught because the government, you know, the FBI is orchestrating it and we're actually getting paid to do this to her. This is great. I don't completely blame them, but I still don't like that they did it to me. And I still hope they're getting karma. But they were told it was okay. If you tell somebody, hey, it's okay to murder somebody, you know, that you hate, no strings attached. What is it? They did that, that, I think they did the experimentation, God, I don't know, the 1950s or something, where, I don't know if it was in Australia or somewhere else, where they did, oh, here's 24 hours, you can do whatever you want. There's no laws, no legalities, have fun, 24 hours. After 24 hours, you know, let's see how society looks after that. And people went on rampages, you know, they went on riots, you know, murdering other people, rapeing people, you know, just blowing up things, you know, and I cannot fully blame people that are ignorant. However, again, they chose it. So that's up to God to siphon through what he decides justice is for that. That's not for me to decide. But the three men that partook, whether they live in the United States, I mean, I know the situation. I'm just going to clarify for the general public. Whether they live in the United States or not, I do think that they all should be prosecuted as accordingly. Not just to the acts that they committed, not just to the dirty money that they used to contribute to destroying my life, my career, my housing, my family. But the thing is my family that was orchestrated from the FBI, the Department of Justice, the Department of Homeland Security, to the Central Intelligence Agency. You guys are the ones that need to be held responsible. My little sister would have never turned out looking at surgeries trying to become a little black market organ donor if it wasn't for you saying it was okay. My brother, yeah, he was a sociopath, but the CIA and the FBI and the government was already partaking in orchestrating what kind of life I would suffer. Everybody else is just details. Everybody else is, what do you call it? Kind of like me, a sacrifice. You guys were all collateral damage. And I understand that one of the people of interest in particular with the electronics, it's really easy to transfer drugs, to do drug trafficking through electronic whatever. Because, you know, if it goes through certain metal detectors, depending on the metal being used and the type of drug, it's probably not going to be that easy to discern. And then you can even claim it's one of the lithium batteries or something. So then it gives the lying by omission option to kind of validate people's perspective. Oh yeah, maybe it is. It's a lying. Anyway. But like I said, everybody who partook, you're all grown adults. You all chose to do it. Even the people on the ground, whatever city I went to, the public safety chose to. The neighborhood block watch chose to in Phoenix, Arizona. The Riverside Police Department chose to. The detention center in Riverside chose to. Duke's Bar chose to. 24-hour hookah lounge in Chandler chose to. The owner chose to. You all chose to take dirty money. You all chose it. So yes, you deserve everything that's coming to you. The saddest part is you live lies. You live you live a duality. You know, you want to smile in my face. Hi, how you doing? Try to be my friend. And part of you breaks because you're like, oh, she's nice. There's nothing wrong with her. But I am getting paid to destroy her life. So, you know, I like the money more. So since you want to have the sin of the love of money, you get to choose how you get to go down. But going back, the 3 people that partook and then generated groups of people and hence brought that into my own immediate life, like with Richard Chavez, where he was being paid. And how could he say no? I really... You know, Richard and I were at the lowest points. You had finally broken my financial capacity to find a different job anywhere in California. That's why he and I moved to Arizona, so I could find work. And then within 3 weeks, you guys destroyed my work. And then when I moved to Grand Canyon, oh, what? Now we have to put her on a SEX racket because we need to let everybody know in that small little 200 people community at the south rim of Grand Canyon that this is what she is. Aside from the fact that you're already doing ritualistic practices up there to torture humans and to have disgusting sexual assaults on people, you know, and then you want to claim, oh, everybody was really drunk that night. I don't care. They weren't. They intended. If you have 4 guys, whether they're drunk, high, on drugs or what, all participating in pushing in a blockade that I have on my door, that was intentional. They wouldn't have known that there was a blockade on that door if somebody didn't tell them. Why was mine the only apartment they went into? Come on. The orchestration is obvious. So you all should go down. You all are already going down to hell anyway. You know, especially if you don't genuinely want to repent. Again, that's your relationship with God and the devil. That's not my decision or my choice to place on you. It's not for my judgment. I really don't give a crap. I just want you all to stay the hell away from me. But for the 3 people that orchestrated it, I don't feel like they should go down the same way as the person who or the organization in our government who has been funding this and putting basically what? Black hole funding, you know, for example, black hole funding. Let's talk about this. In Doge, Elon Musk stated in one of his interviews that there were over 15 million people where the social securities are being used, but those people don't exist anymore to this day. 15 million. Okay, let's talk about numbers. The first cloned baby was in 2002. There was an actual interview by a woman, I forgot the name of the company, where she said, oh, we created our first cloned baby. Now, in that publicly, how do you even describe it? I'm trying to find the right terminology. In that public acknowledgement that was on TV about having the first cloned baby made in 2002, that was it. And then we didn't hear anything more. Aside from the fact that in the 50s, we already had cloned animals. We had Dolly, okay? So you have in 50s, we already have the capacity to clone. 2002, now we're cloning humans or things that have the appearance of humans. So now we're talking about, we just recently, just this year, guys, just in 2025, we have 15 million people that are using social securities that technically do not exist. Who are these gang stalkers? Why do they act so funny? How do they all know each other? They're not human. They're clones. If you look at military records of obituaries for the Iran and Iraq war, they will show that there's an area that specifies that there are cloned soldiers that died during wartime. What does that tell you? Cloned humans exists. Not just that, going back to that 15 million. And I like using round numbers because it's easy for me to display. Now, there's over 13 cloned facilities in Cambridge, Massachusetts alone. We're not talking about the ones that are in New York, the ones that are in, I believe, Alabama, in California, in, I believe, Texas as well. We're not talking about those. But let's just talk about the 10. We'll say 10 because I like round numbers. It's more than 13. I think it's around 17 in Cambridge. But, well, not Cambridge alone, but in Massachusetts, the state. So let's just say there's 10 facilities in Cambridge, Massachusetts for cloning. Each cloning facility can create up to 30,000 cloned babies in 1 year. So if you have 10 of those facilities doing it, that's what? That's 300,000 babies a year. Let's say they started in 2002 to create all of this. Now, this is just an assumption. I'm just using numbers. I don't know when all of the cloning facilities came up in Cambridge. That's why I'm using, like I said, I think there's around 17 cloning facilities, but that's why I'm using 10. It's a nice round number. I could use 20, but I'll use 10 because I don't know how many there were. But I'm assuming at least 10 within the whole United States in and of itself at 2002. Let's just speculate. So we have 30,000 children born every year. In 10 years, that's 3 million. In 20 years, that's 9 million. Right? No, 3 million. I'm right. So now I'm trying to make sure I do my math right. Speculation, right? There's 300,000 for each year. In 10 years, you have, right? No. Yeah. Because it's 10 years. You have 30. Am I retarded? Maybe I need a calculator. It's 30,000. That's what it is. It's 30,000 in 10 years, right? Because it's just 10 years. I'm adding an extra zero from 300,000. No. 3. I'm right. It's 3 million. Don't listen to me. 10 years is 3 million. In 20 years, it's 6 million, isn't it? Now we have 15 million social securities that aren't used. Do you see what I'm saying? I just did a rough estimate. In 20 years, if there were 10 cloning facilities that were making 30,000 artificial humans as of 2002, this is 2025. In 20 years, just with my numbers, we're already at 9 million, which means that there's a potential that there were more cloning facilities at that time. Do you see what I'm saying? So those 15 million people aren't real people. Now, one thing you need to understand, the concept of trafficking, why is that never an absolute conversation for every debate in Congress? Why is that not? We're too busy, we're too busy whining about immigration. We don't want all these people coming in. We don't want all these people coming in because we have fake people that have artificial eyes for cameras, for, they are programmed in their heads. By the way, if you know any, there's therapeutic cloning, and then there's another type of cloning. So why do we focus on immigration? The government does not want immigration of natural, real humans here. Why is that? They've already taken care of the amount of people that are here. They have cloned soldiers that are working as civilians, that are getting paid the money that the civilians that are on the terrorist screening database, like myself, who are part of the royal family, who have estates, who have financial wealth that were taken from us. It was hidden from us when we were born. We are targeted at birth as targeted individuals. And this is what they do. And at birth, they give us these false birth certificates that basically say that we are a company that we can be sold and transferred as collateral. So all these people that are told that I'm not even human, no, I am. I'm more human than all of you. The fact that God has answered my prayers for my salvation, for my protection, and the fact that I am a failed sacrifice on this demonstrates my relationship to this world and to all other dimensions that I partake in, not just in this one. But these cloned humans are not. They don't have that same thing. Another thing, two of the things, they have not manufactured properly the way to clone a human without a woman's womb. Therefore, these cloned human creatures, hybrids, we'll call them hybrids because I don't want to call them creatures. They're hybrids. When they're born without a womb, their neurological system doesn't function the same way. That's why the whole concept of nanotechnology, self-assembling nanos in the body is such an impactive and very innovative technology for hiding humans in plain sight. Hiding fake humans, human hybrids in plain sight. Then we've already had this for years, where celebrities are being like, they have their clones going out. The clones know that they're not really them, but they're supposed to make a public display. They go out, whatever. The clones have already told us on several accounts, there was this one skit with Nicki Minaj where she said, we're not the real ones. This is what we're doing now. As elites, we're spending money creating hybrids that are not us. What are we going to do with them? They have no sense of real self. They're just exploring this world. But what exactly are they? Now, another form, if you do have a cloned hybrid, human hybrid, that has all of its neurological functions, it requires the womb. It requires for a woman to have 3 months of this hybrid in the womb before it could be taken out and put somewhere else. And I do believe that was a lot of concepts that had happened to me because I was RAPE'd so many times. And then I could not get my weight off. And I was wondering why I couldn't get the weight off. Sometimes I had irregular periods. pains, etc., etc. It was obvious that something was going on. I just didn't know what. Because if you go and you sleep in your own family's home, you think you're safe with your family. Blood is thicker than water. Not when the government is concerned. They paid my family off. They said, yeah, use her birth certificate, her social security as a collateral damage for her. She's not a real human anyway. Use her for these things. She's an experiment. She's not a real person. That's wrong. That's wrong to treat people like that. So those 3 people that got paid to try to sacrifice my life in this reality, yes, they should get exactly what's coming to them because they complied. You didn't have to. You chose to. You're all adults. Getting plastic surgery to run from the government, I don't think that's... You're hiding now. Now you're just a coward. You think I have respect for that? I don't. I don't have respect for cowards. Okay? All you people that wanted to come in the middle of the night at my weakest point because I'm a single woman to do things to me, you are all cowards. Period. The government doing this hush-hush, doing the Jim Crow laws after slavery had ended. You're cowards. Changing it to gerrymandering so that African Americans trying to get real estate are told negative things about a community that has predominantly white people in it so that they can't live in the same environment. Having the police called for, activities, like having literally a population in one geographical area of less than 20% African Americans, yet all of the crime supposedly is over 80% of African Americans being incarcerated. It's BS. Not only are you doing the exact same entrapment to African Americans, you're doing the same entrapment to women. So that makes me wonder, African American women are being utilized for this. July 2024 in Nigeria, there's an American article talking about the trafficking of Nigerian women so that they give birth to cloned hybrid babies. Why is that? And why is that being censored in America, Trump? You talk about fake news, Trump. Where is our real news? Because this is real news. Why don't we talk about the real news, how we know what you do to children? I mean, I saw how you were dealing with your daughter. It reminded me of my relationship with my father, who basically sexually assaulted me all my life. Wonder what you did to your own daughter. And then you place these people that have no education, that have no experience, that have no public speaking skills, your family, which are all immigrants, and you claim you don't like immigration. Your family is immigration, Trump. You raised your reputation, first off of your own father, so it wasn't your reputation to begin with. Secondly, off of false lies about your wealth, which is a lie. Isn't that illegal? You literally raised yourself up to the status you are now with illegalities. Then you talk about, immigration is bad, but you immigrated all your family. And then you sit here and you talk about, I'm going to do what's right. Let's make America great again. The way to make America great again is for you to get the hell out of office. The way to make America great again is not to have polygamy and concubines and geishas that you're orchestrating using the Central Intelligence Agency for these kinds of obstructions, for these kinds of treasonous acts against its own people. And then you want to drain the people of their funds, the same people that you are RAPing, you are torturing, you are destroying with poisons in their foods, you are destroying with poison and chemtrails in the system, in the skies. Like, this is disgusting. And then you want to talk about fake news. You are creating the fake news. You are the problem. The way that the government is functioning is a problem. Then you have that stupid blonde lady go into the Department of Education, cutting funding that already wasn't even being used properly in our education system, saying we can do more with less. Well, why don't you guys cut your income, cut your fundraising businesses that you use and all the money you get into that and put it right back into the IRS and right back into the system. And then you tell us how, working, you get more for less. How about you guys cut all of your annual income of employment and show America by example how to do that, to make more out of less? Because I've been working my butt off, whether I'm awake or unconscious, where people are making money off of me, whether I'm at a good job or not. And I can't even afford housing. And when I sleep on the street, I'm RAPE'd, and people record that and make money off of doing this to me and humiliating me. So why don't you guys do that? All those wonderful SEX tapes that you have, let's have them come out. I wonder how many children are on those, Donald Trump. We like to sit here and tiptoe about the Epstein files and everything. There was a list. Stop hiding this information. Stop omitting the truth. I'm tired of it. And I know that I'm not the only one tired of it. And God's tired of it. I can't talk for other countries. Stasi Germany already happened in the 1930s. The Holocaust already happened. Their atrocities already happened. I don't know if they're still happening because I live in America. And I'm not going to talk about Russia because we already see what's going on there too. It's the same situation. We see what's going on in China. The whole world is at odds. And you wonder why? It's because these treaties, the 125-year treaty with Hong Kong and everything, these treaties are being made by people on higher statuses, and you guys are playing with everybody's lives as if we're just tools. We're not. If we were just tools and we all decided we weren't going to pay our bills, you would be obsolete. The Congress, the Electorate College, all of you idiots would be obsolete. And that is why you don't want me to talk. And that is why you don't want this to come out. Because all your funding, the inflation that you're creating, that's why you're into the black market now. Instead of actually having correct structure changes in our government, which was already a faulty system that we built intentionally, instead of creating amendments to correct that, everybody's so greedy about money. It's just a piece of messed up inked paper. It makes no sense. You can't eat it. If you had all the money in the world, but it didn't buy you a doggone thing, what would you do? How would you survive? How would the government survive? Because I know how communities would. After all chaos and everything, there would be some kind of anarchical agreement, and we would all learn how to commune together or die trying. But there would be some type of reform, and it would be pretty quick. So what are we going to do now, Donald Trump? Are you going to keep on running the United States this way? Just like in England, you have, in Great Britain, let's talk about Britain, you have the royal family. They're making all their money off of everything. They've convinced their own people, oh, I think it's great. We're the only country that has, a royal family. No, you're not the only country that has a royal family. You're the only country that has a royal family that lives off of you, lies to you, and then coerces you to believe that it's an amazing thing. Sorry, the rest of the world has it right on that standpoint. So what are we going to do, gentlemen? You want to break women for being strong, but then you want to keep on having relations with us. You don't get to have your cake and eat it too. That's the way I see it. And the people who decided to partake at the airport and look at me, I'm not even going to put your names out there. What's the point? You already know who you are. I don't have hate for anybody. I have absolute intolerance and disdain for the way that the system is being used against people who aren't even doing anything to harm anyone, people who are genuinely trying to help other people. I have a disdain for the way that the system works. I hate the acts that all of you have took. I hate the decisions you have made. But I cannot judge you. That is for God to judge you. But I do not agree with what you've done. And I do believe that Judgment Day should come soon. Trying to keep me from filing the proper paperwork so that I have sovereignty and non-consensual agreements about what you have done to my finances, what you have done to me as a human being. You can keep trying, but that's the difference. You guys have been trying for decades. I'm 39. You've been trying for 39 years to kill me. I know you've tried to suffocate me several times in my sleep. I know you've put me through excruciating pain in my sleep. You guys have been trying to kill me since I was a child. It hasn't worked. And yet, after 39 years, I finally was able to wake up. Thank you for helping me wake up, because you guys got sloppy. You guys got too many people involved. But you all did not succeed. So you think you're going to succeed now? You can postpone. You have the potential, but not anymore. I won't let you postpone, because this is coming. I told Phoenix, Arizona, Phoenix is going to know my name. They're going to know my name. Whether it's on multiple businesses there, or whether it's on me going there every time, just to let Phoenix police and Chandler police know that they're full of crap, including the neighborhood block watch, Nextdoor app. Those apps were supposed to be used to help people in the community find other people and take care of people, not to use them to stalk, to harass, to destroy people's livelihoods, to destroy their health, to destroy their reputations. That's not what it was used for. We need reform, Trump. We need reform, Patel. We need reform. All you government agencies that are run on fumes intentionally so you can profit off of it. We need reform. Let's reform it.